At training tonight, Joe asked me how we can best defend against a 2-2. So I just wanted to put this video out for those of you who are passengers tomorrow, so that you can see it and we can talk about it just before we start our matches. What you can see here is almost the perfect example of how a 2-2 should work. Reds are defending, blues are in possession. What the two blue pivot players have done is they've created space in the middle, they're stretching the play, they're sat behind the two blue defenders who are marking man for man. All this space in the middle is the purpose of 2-2. You're creating space by using the depth, which means that these two players here have plenty of space to attack or rotate in, and it's difficult for the red players to defend this space. So what this means as a start is that if we're defending as reds and it goes to 2-2, I think I want us to drop a little bit of control the centre. What this means is these two blue players have a choice. They can either lump it long, they're not going to do that because it's a 4-2 for us, or they can bring it forward. By the way, I probably want our defenders to be behind the ball like that a little bit. There's an argument later as to why you're probably going to want to be ahead, but as a starting position, maybe start there. As these players come in, it's really important that we understand that we want to control the centre. What that means is that our position probably wants to be slightly inset of where the players are. So what that means is not only are we cutting out any passing angles that might exist, but if the player releases the ball, we are actively blocking that run. They have to run round us. And so we continue to control the centre and we're forcing them wide. As balls are released, we need to be thinking about what these players are doing. If they drift wide, these players drift wider. They might even drop ahead so that we can cut out that ball, being mindful that the long ball might be on. Or alternatively, this player here, we just push a little bit. Can we force them either to play out, which is fine because this player is here to close that down, or even better, can we make them play backwards? As I'll keep saying to you, a standard part of my defensive philosophy is that I want them to play backwards. I want the ball in their half of the pitch, because if we're up here, we have a chance to win the ball, make them make a mistake. We transition, we have a shot on goal. But you need to be thinking about what your player is doing. So if this player here is marking this blue player and this blue player is right-footed, that probably means that this ball is going to go across, or they can take it quite comfortably up this line because they're right-footed. A left-footed player is less likely to dribble that way. They are more likely to try and play inside. So with a right-footed player, your positioning, you might think, okay, well, I'm actually probably I might just, close off a little bit. With a left-footed player who is much less likely to go down the line, you can probably even be more aggressive and take a few more steps and close it down. How close you are probably depends on how fast they are and a whole load of other variables. But the fundamental point on a 2-2 is we go man for man, we mark up as tight as you want, make sure you've locked onto your player, and we control the centre from a mid-block, and we do not let them play into this space. We force them to go wide around the outside. If these players make run into the middles, we go in, we lock them down, we close if the ball goes over here, we close the passing lane out. We make sure that they cannot control the ball in the centre of the court.